Cali bonita, eres un Edén de valles hermosos y lindas mujeres que siempre soñé.
Welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about Cali, Colombia and the standard of beauty and why it outshines the world. Not so much in general, just the specific city of Cali, but the whole country of Colombia as a whole. Throughout my travels throughout the world, I'm trying to think right now, I have not ran across a country that had so many beautiful women. And I'm thinking about countries that I actually visited, not countries that I've seen on the internet or someone told me about, but countries that I actually visited throughout my travels. When I think of Asia, any Asian country that I visited compared to Colombia when it comes to the standard of beauty, no competition. When I think of Europe, from the countries that I visited, again, no competition. When I think of some of the African countries I visited, I do think of a country that I visited that comes in mind. And that particular country is Ethiopia. When I think of South America, there's another particular country that I could say is a rival, and that is Brazil. But when it comes to choosing one country, it would have to be hands down here in Colombia. And about this hotel, we had to get another room. We got an upper level room because the previous room we had, we got locked out many times. So every time we would come back to the hotel, the key card would not work to get inside the room. So they gave us another room at a higher level. It's a good view, the room is pretty much, it looks the same. It's not that much of a difference. But let's go back to the standard of beauty. Some of the countries that I named that I could say will give Colombia somewhat of a little competition would be Ethiopia and Brazil. And you probably will only understand if you have visited Ethiopia and Brazil. But again, overall, as a whole, I would still say hands down is Colombia. Now, if there's another country that you have in mind that I did not mention, please put that in the comment section below. Or if there's a country that I have named between the two, Ethiopia and Brazil, tell me why you agree or disagree with me. But again, you have to have visited those two countries to know what I'm talking about if you have not visited Ethiopia and Brazil. With those two countries, I would say that natural beauty is everywhere. Everywhere you go. When you go walking down the street, you go to a restaurant, you go to the shopping malls, you see it. But again, it's nothing compared to what I've seen here in Colombia. I see it more here versus the other two places I just named. And I know some might say, well, who wins the most Miss Universe or any type of pageant contest? Who wins the most competitions? What country? And I'm not really going by that because the people that's judging that, I'm pretty sure they're kind of biased of what their standard of beauty is and what they like. So I'm going to throw that out. Plus, we all don't really know what are the rules. Now, I do know that in the Miss Universe contest, to qualify, you have to be a certain age. Well, you have to be between certain ages. And you cannot be married or pregnant or have ever been married. So it's rules to that. So I'm going to throw that out the window. I'm talking about actually visiting a country and just seeing the beauty as you go out through your normal days, doing normal things like walking, eating, things of that sort. I'm not talking about a contest. Now, some of the reasons why I think that Colombia has such a high standard of beauty, number one would be the diversity and multicultural heritage that plays a big role in shaping its beauty ideals. Meaning that the diversity of being, well, some being mixed with like a fusion of European, African, and indigenous heritage, it creates a blend of a unique type of beauty. And what other country has this also is Brazil, but again, in my opinion, I think Colombia overall just takes it to another level. And also notice I didn't mention North America or my country, the US. And the reason I didn't is because I didn't want to be biased. Because in the US, I think we have the most variety of any other country on planet Earth. Because we have everything when it comes to people, to culture. We're a melting pot. We're a mixture of everything. So I didn't want to mention the U.S., so I just mentioned the three: Colombia, Ethiopia, and Brazil. Colombia, in my opinion, being number one when it comes to beauty standards because of different reasons. But again, you have to had visited these three countries to exactly know what I'm talking about. So let's do a quick deep dive into the three countries: Colombia, Brazil, and Ethiopia. Kicking it off first with Ethiopia. So far, I visited twice to the city slash capital, which is Addis Ababa, and natural beauty is everywhere. If this video was about which African country I visited having the highest natural beauty, Ethiopia would be at least within the top three. But what hinders Ethiopia is about, you may not know this, only 70% of the population in Ethiopia lives without electricity. So the lack of power impacts my travel to other Ethiopian cities to explore, unlike here in Colombia, where the power grid is very strong within the country and internet access is accessible everywhere. And this gives me the advantage to explore more of the country and the people, unlike in Ethiopia. So, in other words, if you visit Addis Ababa, only that city, which is the capital, is the most advanced and modernized city in the whole country that has so much of a good power system. If you try to go outside of the capital, the power grid situation isn't so great. So it doesn't give you a chance to explore other cities like I can do here in Colombia. So now let's turn to Colombia's friendly neighbor, which is Brazil. Now, you may not know this, but Brazil is my favorite country within the continent of South America. But the topic is we're talking about the highest standard when it comes to beauty. And I would say that they're almost neck to neck to the country of Colombia. But the only thing that brings Colombia to the top is that not only does Colombia has natural beauty, but also it has enhanced beauty that is part of Colombian culture, unlike in Brazil. So that's the major difference. Colombia has natural beauty, and added on that is also enhanced beauty that mostly everyone get. And I'm talking about women. When it comes to Brazil, Brazil is not so much into enhanced beauty. So there you have it. In conclusion, I have gave the title to Colombia as having the highest beauty standards in the world within the countries I have visited so far, and this is all in my opinion. And the main reason I gave Colombia the winning title is because not only does Colombia has natural beauty, but also again, part of their culture is enhanced beauty. And there is no other country that is like this, like Colombia, with natural beauty and enhanced beauty that is part of their culture. This is why Colombia wins. Now, if this was which country has the highest natural beauty standards, I would give the title to Brazil. Now I'm going to give you some of the countries I have visited so far that I didn't add in the list. In the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Of course, in North America, Canada. And in South America, I'm also adding Guyana, Africa, Cape Verde, South Africa, and in Europe, Germany, Portugal, the UK, and in Asia so far, Singapore, Indonesia, and Thailand. So all those countries, in my opinion, had no comparison when it comes to the highest standard of beauty compared to Colombia. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching and peace out.
See, what you happy?